Hi again, it's Mary Elizabeth McCarry, the Magic Apothecary, coming to you from my sacred space in Brooklyn, New York, where I do all things magical and healing. Although this podcast is going to be about me traveling as far as, watch out, New Jersey, 45 minutes away, to a lovely and wonderful seminar today, lucky for me, seminar with Chris Penczak, wonderful author, speaker, person, witch, magician, wizard, you name it. Christopher is this. Anyway, I am, as I said, Mary Elizabeth McCarry. I am currently a medicine woman, a witch for a long time now. I'm a spiritualist and a medium. I'm a tarot reader. I'm also deeply studying astrology and an astrologer. I call myself an astrologer at this point. I'm an herbalist. I'm a Reiki healer. I am also a singer of opera, jazz, blues. I am a teacher of singing those things as well as many other things. I work with sound healing some, chanting, and all kinds of ways to find the spirit through natural and spiritual paths. I began my spiritual journey a long time ago as a little girl. My grandmothers, both my Italian grandmother and my Irish grandmother, were both natural sorts of witches. My Italian grandmother in particular was a strega, and so I was taught to read the tarot at like 10, and palmistry and these kinds of things, and also to work with herbs from both sides of the family. I've been studied with many people. I just said I studied with Christopher Penczak, yippee, yahooey for me. I'm lucky to have met him and worked with him. I also have worked with Lady Rhea from Magical Realms in New York City, Susan Weed, upstate New York, famous herbalist and witch, Celtic scholar. Alexei Kondrotyev was my high priest until he passed away in my coven, and then Nimacinity's coven in New York City. Pika Trenkel is my herbalist teacher and who I am now currently in an apprenticeship with. I worked with High Priest Anthony Russell, Drew D. Vittorio, herbalist, David Winston, herbalist, David Crow, famous aromatherapist, and lucky for me, I had Klingon Joe Zukowski as my first and opening foray into Wicca, along with Jezebel at Enchantments, New York City in the 90s and 80s. I have visited and eaten all through Prospect Park with Wildman Steve Brill, which I will do again soon, and I'm now in the process of finishing my Reiki 3, or Reiki Masterwork, with Joanna Crespo at the New York Open Center. So that's who I am. My stuff, you can find me at themagicapothecary.com, or call me at 347-492-0534 for tarot, Reiki, anything you might need, astrology. I also do create all kinds of things. I create millions of ways to do magic, from candles to baths, soaks, floor washes, body washes, perfumes, solid end sprays, you name it, I make it. Deodorant, all imbued with magical power, all using organic herbs and essential oils. That's what I do. I make everything one of a kind, handmade for you alone. So, if you want to write me a note, you can too. I'll give you that information at the end of the podcast. Anyway, so here's me. I am a constant student in this lifetime. I have been told astrologically that I have explored many lifetimes as a spiritual person, as a priestess, and that in this lifetime I am a super hungry priestess, or yearning for knowledge, as much knowledge as possible. And this lifetime I feel exceptionally called to do healing work. And I agree with that astrological reading given to me by my astrology teacher, Tom Lesher, Kepacha, if you know him by that name on the web. So, yes, I am a healer. I have been a healer for some time now and didn't know it, but I got very ill about 2.5-3 years ago. I have a serious autoimmune disease called rheumatoid arthritis and celiac disease combo. And so I was told there's really not much I can do through Western medicine to heal myself, except to take in substances that would probably cause me to get sicker in some ways, or shut my liver, or perhaps, there's my cuckoo clock, say hi cuckoo clock, or perhaps even develop lymphoma. So I decided against taking those medications, and I've gone an alternate health path, and it is actually, thank goodness and thank God and Goddess, working somewhat. So through body, mind, and spirit work, I have come to other things, and I have then wanted to weave them back together into my magical work. And that's what these podcasts are for. Me finding and digging and eating herbs with Picatrinkle in the woods of New Jersey and bringing them back to you, and also having them translated both through medicinal and then also magical work. And guess what? Christopher Penczak does. I didn't know this. I had been asked to do this podcast on the seminar. I started to read Christopher's book, Plant Familiar book, and I liked it very, very much, just in preparation for this class. A friend of mine, Margaret Hopkins Markowitz, told me that I had to go to this seminar. I must go, so I went. I believe and trust. I trust her. I've known her a very long time. She's a witch herself, and when she says stuff in an emphatic way, I listen. So I went, and I started to read the book. And I was taken with it almost immediately. I have been working with Christopher's other work. I use the Inner Temple of Witchcraft with my novice students here in my Pagan Path group in Brooklyn. And they are given that book as the first book they start to work with, because it's full of meditation, information. It's very grounded. And so is his Plant Familiars book. So I didn't know what to expect. Of course, I'd seen his picture on the back of the books and online, and I had heard that he was just the most amazing teacher. So I was very pleased. And you know what? He was. I was within moments taken by him. His energy is big, large, immense, yet he is kind and sweet and centered and brilliant. Oh, so brilliant. As brilliant as you think he might be reading his books. So we had a lovely 2 days full of information on plants themselves. He talked to us a bit about not only the what he calls the balms, which are the healing plants, which is where I've been coming from in these podcasts mostly, but he talked about the banes, which are poisonous plants or sometimes plants only used for magic, and also trees as teachers. So he took it in a threefold path. As we do in Wicca, a lot of different religions, body, mind, spirit, the Trinity, Maiden, Mother, Crone, we can go on and on. But he took it from that perspective, and that was very helpful for, I think, all of us, myself included, to see it clearly. So he took us through meditations after giving us information to meet our plant familiars, and I did meet mine. I had some very interesting experiences with Christopher. I think because of his strength and his knowledge, I was able to really trust him and have, in a hotel room with lots of noise going on behind us and weird temperature control problems and like this really strange geometrical rug and too much light, even though I was still able to really fly and learn and see and speak to beings, the devas of my plant familiar devas. I was quite impressed, as I think you might be able to tell. By the way, we're listening to something called Sacred Earth by Dean Everson, and we're listening to a track right now. It's called Mother Matters, about the earth herself. That's what this whole journey is about. Anyhow, so we did that, and we broke for lunch, and we came back, and we did some more path working, more meditation. We got to know more about our familiars. We got to discuss more of, just get chances to question Christopher, to really involve ourselves in the knowledge. And then the next day it was a similar thing, but not as much information and much, much more meditation, where we did the Green Devil meditation that is in his book, in the Plant Familiars book. It was amazing. I learned so much about, magical herbs. I have been using herbs maybe for about 25 to 30 years in magic myself, but I had never worked with baneful herbs before, because there's the other cuckoo clock. It's a crazy house. I had never felt safe. I never felt that I wanted to take a chance, and I now feel like I can. He took us through a lot of discussion about plant familiars, yes, but also he took us through exploring how to extract the energy of those plants. And one of the ways we did that was through plant essences, just using water, talking about just bringing out the flower essence, as in, like, we have Bach flower essences. I know I'm saying that incorrectly, but I say it B-A-C-H, Bach flower essences, and FES flower essences, which can be picked up in health food stores or wherever. And these are essences of flowers or plants that have been just sat in the sun for a day in a clear crystal bowl, so that the essence of these flowers and plants can be imbued into the water and then cleaned out and then diluted over a couple, 2 times, 3 times with alcohol, pure grain alcohol, so they can be kept fresh and also can be diluted some in water. So we're not taking in the full strength herbal infusion, which is what I do when I do my medicinal herbs of any plant, like belladonna or aconite or anything else that was quite poisonous that we worked with, datura. No, we took in flower essences of those, or homeopathic essences of those, very safe. And even though they were very diluted versions of the plant essence, I literally was able to feel serious change within my body and my mind in a light and safe way where I wasn't frightened at all. I came away from this seminar with a hungry need to get more knowledge, to start to study much more about not only just medicinal herbs, but to step into the baneful world and to certainly work with my tree spirits, which I have always been quite attracted to. And as a matter of fact, I do make medicine from trees. I do make pine and fir and, you know, balsam oils and waters and these things for healing. And also have worked with maple and work with oak and work with sycamore. I also create walking sticks and wands, handmade, kind of whittled or finely tuned things based on stuff I pick up in the woods when I do my work, or in the woods of Brooklyn, because I don't always get to the woods, guys. So if you're in an urban area, by the way, you can find these things. Today I just found actually poison hemlock in someone's garden 2 blocks away. Didn't know they had it, I betcha. Right next to the wild carrot. Nice. And that was quite a discovery. And that was one of the things we worked with Christopher. Anyway, so it was a lovely ritual. We did great path workings. We had a lovely, intense time and bonded very nicely with the group. I think I made some wonderful new friends. I hope I can count Christopher as one of my wonderful new friends. I have made a promise to myself to read every single book he has ever written. I have started again with The Inner Temple, and I am intending to read every single thing the man has ever written. He is quite impressive. He is quite knowledgeable, and he has an open, kind heart, too, which I haven't found that combination all that common in the pagan community all the time. I have seen it and been with it before, and here I found it again. So if you're interested in Christopher's work, you can certainly go to his website online, Christopher Penczak. Just type in his name in a Google search and you will get everything you need to know about this man, Christopher, Penczak, Christopher. And if you're interested in my article on this seminar, you can go to my website, themagicapothecary.com, and you will see what I wrote about my experience there. Also, you can find me on Facebook. It's the Magic Apothecary on Facebook as well. You can friend me there, and we can talk there as well. I love that. If you need anything from me, you can also call me at 347-492-0534, or write to me at the Magical, MAGICAL, Apothecary, APOTHECARY @gmail.com. Astrology readings are available. I'm getting ready to do synastry or relationship readings, as well as tarot, palmistry, Reiki sessions, all kinds of healing work. You name it, I got it. Or I can create it for you, or I can find it for you if I can't make it.